Okay, so welcome everyone to Tech Talks, presented by Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey. OrCam is revolutionizing AI assistive technology with devices assisting the visually impaired, blind, and people with reading challenges. OrCam devices are tiny, portable smart cameras that take pictures of visual things and immediately convert the visual into audio. These devices speak what they say. They are artificial eyes for people who want that kind of assistance. OrCam is an Israeli-based technology company founded in 2010. The original OrCam My Eye device was launched in 2015, and then next generation OrCam My Eye 2.0 was launched in 2017. Tonight, we are honored to have as our guest speaker, Eve Posner, an authorized distributor of OrCam technologies in New Jersey. Before we begin, I'll tell you a little about Eve. Eve enjoys working in the assistive technology space, representing an innovative and fast-developing product line. OrCam Technologies makes the world's most advanced AI assistive devices for reading challenges due to visual impairment, blindness, and reading challenges like dyslexia. Eve grew up in Chicago, raised her 3 children in New Jersey, and was a social worker. She likes working and helping professions. Connecting with others through OrCam has led her to meeting interesting people and travel around the wonderfully varied state of New Jersey. Before we turn to this evening's presentation and turn the evening over to Eve, I just want to review our Tech Talk format. So this evening, Eve will present to us in segments the OrCam My Eye, OrCam Read, and OrCam Mix. At the end of each segment, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. So we do ask that you use the raise your hand feature. So now on to our presentation. I would like to welcome Eve Posner. I thank you very much for being with us tonight, Eve.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. I'm happy to be here. And I love how everything is, shifting to virtual, or has shifted to virtual. It's not so new anymore, but that we can still connect with each other in these isolating, strange times. So thank you to VLA for having me. I did see some familiar names on the group today. So hello to those who I've met in the past, and hello to those who are new to me and I'm new to them tonight. Like Linda said, I am a distributor here in New Jersey for OrCam. I basically cover the entire state, and I do that through platforms like this, by going to eye doctors, by going to events when they happen, and meeting with people in person. So I'm your gal if you're interested at some point. And I am going to start, as Linda said, by talking about the devices, the models, and then I'll just do it in bite-sized amounts so that we can digest so many food analogies. And then, you can sort of digest what I'm saying and ask me questions after each device. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to talk as if I have people here who know nothing about OrCam, even though I know there are some seasoned listeners here. So those of you who've heard this before will have some repetition, but also there is a lot of new information in 2020. So it's exciting to present that. And like Linda read in the beginning about OrCam, this is a company whose goal is to constantly innovate and add things, and not just sit back and keep selling the same thing and doing the same thing. The idea is to add on and constantly break down barriers. So OrCam is, as she said, based in Israel, but we have people all over the world using this device in almost 50 countries at this point. The device is multilingual, it'll speak the language that's native to whatever country it's being sold in. So here in the US, our devices will be in English, but people can add on languages. So let's say you understand Spanish or French or German, Italian. You can have that as a language also in addition to English. So let me get started with OrCam My Eye. This device I'm going to describe to you now is about the size, the length of an adult finger. So that means that it's about 4 inches long, about 1 inch wide, and half an inch thick. So kind of like a small pack of gum or a USB drive stick. It weighs a little bit over 1/2 an ounce. So it's rectangular in shape, it's lightweight, and it is a device that you will use by putting it on eyeglasses. And the way you put it on eyeglasses is there's embedded magnets on one flat side of it, the inner side, and that flat inner side connects to a magnet that we place on the eyeglass frames, on the arm or frame of the glass by the front, you know, where glasses bend and fold. So we would put the magnet just behind that fold up toward the front of the glasses. And that magnet is not permanent, but it's stable. It has 2 zip ties that we pull tightly so that it's a stable connection on the eyeglasses. And then I just bring the unit up to my eyeglasses. I don't have to see anything because it's magnetic. It's just going to click right on to my magnet on my eyeglasses. Just to give you a little
Bluetooth connected. No device equal X here connected.
I'm gonna have it speak through a speaker. That's what you just heard, so that the voice, the sound will be loud enough for my computer to pick up. So if the computer starts, if this speaker starts talking, I'll try to get it to be quiet when I'm not ready for it. Okay, so the flat side is the inner side that has the embedded magnets. It has a power button. And then at the back, there's a high definition speaker at the back of the device. So that's like the small edge. If you envision kind of like a pack of gum, you know, the small end. So the back edge has a speaker, and that speaker is right outside of my ear. So if I do have hearing issues, it does work with hearing aids because it's sitting right outside and the voice is fed directly into my ear, but it doesn't insert into my ear, so I can wear my hearing aids at the same time. On the very front of this device is a little tiny camera. It's a 13 megapixel camera for anybody who's interested in numbers. And it's a very sensitive camera that will pick up a lot of fine detail. And then there's also a flash above and below the little camera, so that in the front, so that if I'm in a dark space or I don't have the lights on, the flash will go on automatically to illuminate the page or whatever surface I'm trying to read. And it'll just flash long enough for the picture to be taken by the camera in the front, and then it'll turn off. And so again, so I just kind of mentioned that the camera's in the front. So we've talked about the inside being the part that touches the eyeglasses and has magnets and a power button. The very, very front small end is the camera and flash. The very, very back edge is a speaker and magnetic connection for charging. And then on the outside is where all the fun happens. Tactily on the outside, I can feel there's a raised line. We call it the touch bar. So again, I don't need to see anything. I can just feel it with my finger, my forefinger, and that will indicate where I need to touch to activate the camera. Again, OrCam makes devices for people who have seeing challenges, reading challenges, so nothing has to be seen by the user. So I'm going to take this little device and put it on my eyeglasses. You might hear a click. That click was me putting it on. The magnets grabbed each other. And now I have this camera up at my eye level, and it's not going to change. It's not going to help me see better. It's not going to change what I'm seeing. It's just sitting at eye level so that wherever my face turns, the camera will follow. So it gives it just a normal kind of direction wherever my face is turning. Now, what can it do? It can take pictures, and then in a few seconds, it's going to take that visual information from the picture and convert it into audio, so into voice, and it's going to speak to me. It doesn't need to be connected to Wi-Fi or to a cloud of any sort, so the processing will be very fast. It all happens inside this little device outside on my glasses. So again, I'll take a picture of something like a piece of paper with writing, let's say a piece of mail, let's say a menu from a restaurant.
Ready.
Or a page in a book. Anything that's printed on paper, even like a box of crackers, all that stuff can be read. I can also read digital, so I can read screens, computer, tablet, cell phone. And so I'm going to start by taking a picture of something that's printed. It's from my brochure, and I want you to hear what it does. Now, I'm going to go through the other features after I do the reading feature. I'm just going to do one feature at a time. It does a lot more than just reading, but I'm starting with reading. So I have a piece of paper in front of me. I'm going to hold this paper about 12 inches out in front of me. So my elbows are bent, my arms are comfortable, and I'm holding this piece of paper at the height of my eyes, and I'm holding it in front of my face, in front of my nose, in front of the middle of my face. I'm right-handed, so I have the camera on the right side of my eyeglasses. A lefty would have it on the left side. But even though the camera's on the right side, I'm not going to move the paper to the right. I'm going to keep the paper in front of me because the camera's angling slightly to catch a picture of something in front of me in the middle of my face, about 12 inches out. So again, I don't move it to the right. So imagine me holding this piece of paper up. My left hand is holding the paper at the bottom left corner of the paper, and I'm going to just wake up the camera. I want to make sure the speaker's awake, and then I'm going to take a picture.
Bluetooth connected.
Okay, good. All right, so it's connected. So here I go. I'm going to hold the paper in front of me, and I'm going to tap on the outside of my device. I told you earlier there's this raised bar that I can feel with my fingers, and I'm just going to tap on that bar once, one tap with my forefinger, and I'm going to listen to what happens. The camera will take a picture.
Person is in front of you. OrCam MYFE is assistive technology. OrCam is a wearable smart camera helping people who are blind, visually impaired, or have reading challenges. That does 3 tons that. OrCam NIF. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of a different paper because that one has a little bit of fold in it and it's not reading clearly. So if I don't like the way it's reading, I can just redo it. 1 second, please. Let me just grab my paper, which I can't find. Oh, here it is. 1 second, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to just take a different picture and then we'll hear it a little clearer. I'm going to hold the paper in front of my face, like I said earlier, and I'm going to tap on the outside of the device. OrCam My Eye. On My Eye is an intuitive wearable device with a smart camera designed to assist people who are blind or visually impaired. OrCam gives independence.
Okay, a little tiny delay because it's going through a Bluetooth speaker, but that's what happens. So I take a picture, 2 or 3 seconds later, we hear it read to us. Okay, I'm gonna hold this upside down. I'm gonna take a picture the exact same way, but now the text is upside down. I want you to hear the feedback I get from the device.
The text seems upside down. To read it, rotate the page and try again.
So the reason I did that example is to tell you that it gives you feedback and it's interactive. So it can give you different kinds of messages based on what's going on with your use. I can read book pages, I can read mail, all that kind of stuff. So that's the reading feature. I can also fast forward, I can rewind, I can pause. So if I need to hold my spot, like bookmark it, I can do that. And I have the ability to kind of control the reading rate too. It can speak very fast if you're one of the people who likes to hear things quick, very fast. So that's reading in a nutshell. Most people use it primarily for reading. And that's one of the features that they have really perfected. Other things it can do are facial recognition. So that means it will identify 100 people by name. You can store a person's face and give it a vocal name tag in your device, and then 100 people will be named by the device. My face is stored in it, so I'm actually going to take a picture of myself on the screen and see if this will work and have it identify me. Okay, so it didn't work that way. I'm going to take the device off of my glasses just for the sake of this demonstration. I'm going to hold it opposite my face as if somebody was wearing it and looking at me and take my own picture. Let's hear if it recognizes me. Iv. It said Iv. So it's cutting off because of the Bluetooth speaker.
Eve.
Eve.
A.
Okay, Eve. So the last time I did it, it got my name much better. I hope you guys heard it say Eve. So again, I can store 100 faces. It'll name them by name. If somebody is not stored in there and I take a picture of them, it'll just say something like a man or a woman is in front of you, or 2 children. It'll tell you the quantity, the number of people, and it'll try to do gender identification, or sometimes it'll just say a person is in front of you. So that's facial identification. That's very useful for people who want to have a secure feeling about if they're wondering, is anybody around? Who's in the room with me? Am I walking on the street? Is there anybody opposite me? And likewise, if somebody is in a work setting or in a setting where they're interacting with people, obviously not during COVID, but they can store the names of people who they see frequently, and then it'll automatically announce them to the wearer, so you don't have to actually activate it. You could just have it set like on a passive setting, and then it'll just announce the person to you. Quickly, a few more features on this device: money reading, color detection, and barcode reading, all really practical for daily daily activities, for shopping, for cooking, all those kinds of things. I'll do one barcode reading example. I have a box here of candy. I'm not going to say what until you hear the device announce it. I'm going to just stare at the back panel of the box and hear what product it is. Now, there are tricks to knowing where the barcode is. Several of you may know already that it's by the seam. That's me touching the seam of this box. And so if I stare at one panel of the box and it's not responding, then I'm just going to rotate it and do it on another panel. There's no downside to trying and rotating the box. I'm not wasting, I don't have a limited amount of picture taking ability. This device doesn't store the pictures I'm taking, so I can take pictures, unlimited amount of pictures. So just to give an example, it comes stored with hundreds of thousands of products that we in the US market. So I'm just gonna stare at this and let's see if it tells us what it is.
Hershey's Milk Duds Chocolate and Caramel 141G. C.
Okay, so it said Hershey's Milk Duds Chocolate and Caramel, and then it gave me the grams, 141 grams in the package. So all I did was I stared at it, I waited a few seconds, and then it pulled up the info. I didn't trigger it, I didn't switch from reading mode, then to face mode, then to barcode reading mode. It does it intuitively. So I just have to put something in front of me, and it knows what information to tell me. So again, when I took a picture of my face, it saw eyes, nose, and a mouth, and it knew to pull up a name and give it the name Eve. When I stare at the product, it knows to go into its barcode library. Now I'm gonna stare at a dollar bill. I don't need to orient it to have it right side up or anything. I'm just gonna stare at it and listen.
Dollar.
Oh, part of it got cut off. Let me try again. The Bluetooth speaker cut off part of it. Let me try a different bill that I have here.
$5.
It said $5, but it's $5. And that's just because of the speaker I'm using tonight. Normally it won't get cut off. The F wouldn't have gotten cut off if I'm just listening directly from my device. So again, I held up the money. It just told me the amount. I didn't have to put it into a menu setting saying, I want to know how much money, or I want to read money. Likewise, I can do colors. So I have a little paint chip from the paint store. I just can take a picture of that and hear what it is, but I don't have to put it into color setting.
Green area.
Green area, the G got cut off. Green area. So the nice thing about OrCam devices is that they are intuitive. They know what information you want. You don't have to go in and switch from one setting to the next. It's fluid. Okay, so I pick up something and it tells me what it is, or I take a picture and it tells me what it is. So I'm gonna
a question, Eve.
Yeah, I was just gonna stop with with talking, and let's hear some questions.
The first question is from Suzanne. You're muted, Suzanne. You have to unmute yourself.
Hi. Hi there. Could you just go through the steps to save a name of a person?
Yeah, definitely. Saving faces and names is really easy. And what the device does is it's my teacher. It guides me the whole time I'm doing this process. So the way I do it is I sit opposite, or I stand opposite somebody that I want to store, like 3 feet away from me. And I look at them and I take my forefinger and I tap on that touch bar I talked about. I'm just going to hold my finger down and trying to see if I have a picture. I'm just going to hold my finger down on the touch bar and not let go. And let's see if we can hear the message.
Face learning not successful. Person is too far. It is best to stand in front of a person from 3 feet away.
Okay, so what I do, again, let me backtrack. All I did was take my forefinger and hold it down on that touch bar on the outside of my device, and I'm looking at a face. Now, in this case, it told me it wasn't successful because there's really nobody here. I'm just sort of doing it off the computer, off my own face, but it would then lead me through the steps. It will say, continue to hold it for 30 seconds. At the end of the 30 seconds, it'll say to me, name the person after the beep. Just like a voicemail, leave your message after the beep. Name the person after the beep, and then I can say their name, or they can say their name and be recorded with their own voice. Once they say their name, let's say that it's Leo. Leo says his name. I hear Leo's name recorded and repeated. If I like it, I tap it and I save it. So I'm hearing it's walking me through the instructions when I'm doing the actual process of saving somebody's face.
Mhm. Thank you.
Eve, we have another question. Matthew? You can
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Now, can it read other languages? Like, let's say you got a paper and like a small circular. Instead of English, you grab the Spanish. Will it read from Spanish to English?
Yes, yes. In fact, I have a lot of customers here in New Jersey, like especially in the Elizabeth area. I have people who use both languages, English and Spanish, and they keep them both turned on or enabled, and then they can just pick up an item in one language and it'll read it, and then they can pick up the next one, let's say in Spanish, and it'll read it in a Spanish accent. So they don't have to switch and turn it on or off. They can just leave it on and then it'll do it instinctively.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions before Eve moves on? Okay.
If you think of something, you can ask after. So the second device that OrCam came out with in 2020 is a handheld device. And this handheld device is about 6 inches long. It feels like a really fat magic marker, and it's about 1 inch wide and about 1.5 inches tall. So it's also like a rectangular shape. It fits very comfortably in your hand, and the way you would hold it is you would use your dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, like I said, and I would hold it in my right hand and point it at what I want to read, and then just take a picture by tapping on the very front. So let's go over what is on here. On the very top edge, at the very front, is a round button. That's the trigger button. That's what I take pictures with. There's only 4 buttons total. The next button is a plus sign for volume up, or when it's reading, that would fast forward. The next button is a minus sign, and that's for volume down or rewinding when I'm reading. And in the very back is a long button that feels different and bigger than the minus, and it's shaped also like a fat minus sign. That's the power button. Now, these devices are rechargeable. These devices are rechargeable, and this one has a port for recharging. And the nice thing is that the recharging, that when you plug in the charger, it lets you know with a voice message, charger connected. Or if you unplug it, then charger disconnected. So everything is spoken to you. All the instructions on the device are spoken to you. Like when I was talking about answering Suzanne's question about face storing, every step of the way, the device is talking and guiding me. All right, so how does this OrCam read? The handheld one is not something that I have to scan line by line. Like the My Eye, the wearable one, I take one picture and it reads the entire thing. So after I take the picture, I can put the OrCam read down. I don't have to aim it at the paper or at what I'm reading, and I can relax. So everything essentially turns into an audio book. So again, I'm gonna hold this in my hand as if I'm writing like a pen, for those who write anymore. You hold it like a pen, meaning my thumb is on one side, my forefinger is on the top of it so that it can press the buttons on the top edge. And then my other 3 fingers are on the other side opposite my thumb, just slightly pressing so that it won't fall on the floor. So I take this device, my forefinger fits comfortably on the top edge. I can move it back and forth to operate, to press different buttons, and I aim it at what I want to read. And in this case, this is not a device for people who are blind, because this one's going to have laser guidance on my paper, and it's going to show me with the laser, which is a red color, where the device is starting to read from. So this OrCam read was designed for people who have more usable vision. So that would be, more mild vision impairment than who would use the My Eye. And it's also for people who have conditions that make reading challenging, like dyslexia or reading fatigue. Maybe they've had a brain injury. People who have lots and lots of reading to do for work may use this. So this is a helpful aid, but again, you need to have some functional eyesight to see where the laser is hitting on the page. So I'm gonna hold this paper up opposite me, just like I did the other one. Again, it's about 12 inches away from me. I'm holding the OrCam in my right hand, the paper in my left hand, and I'm gonna aim the OrCam at the paper, and I'm gonna press the very front button. When I press it, I'm gonna have a red laser come onto the page, and then I'm gonna release my forefinger and listen.
This is OrCam Read. I help with reading challenge. Good fit for people with dyslexia, mild low vision, read disabilities from trauma, stroke, etc. Today is June 18th, 2020. Eve's telephone number is 973-820-5090. She paid $5 at Home Depot in East Hanover. NJ, how much is 4 plus 2?
Okay, so I pointed it at the top of the page, and it read all of those things that I just printed out here. Obviously, it's not June 18th, but that was when I printed that paper. So again, this one is the same principle as the My Eye, in that you can take a picture with the little camera, and then in real time, you hear the material, the audio feedback read to you. All these devices can see as if they are a person with 20/20 vision. That means that the distance that somebody with 20/20 vision could see a sign is what these devices can see. So I have people who use them not only for reading things that they're holding in their hands, but signs that are far away. This OrCam read is lightweight. I think I said it's about an 1.5 ounces, but it's very portable. Both devices are discrete. Like I said, nothing goes to the cloud through Wi-Fi. Everything is stored in your devices. So if you're reading something confidential, like I have lawyers, doctors who use these things for work, and that's confidential stuff they're reading, patient charts, they can use them with confidence because the information isn't going anywhere out of their device. And as I said earlier, these devices are not storing what you're reading so that you have unlimited capacity. It's not like a computer hard drive. Any questions about the OrCam Read, the handheld one?
Anyone have questions? Just remember, if you're on the phone, okay, raise your hand. Feature is *9, and *6 will mute or unmute you.
So I'll keep talking until if there's a question. what OrCam found is that, as you guys can imagine, there are as many approaches to living your life with vision loss as there are people on the face of the earth. So everybody has his or her own, preferences, ways they want to go about things. These are great devices for people who think that they would be, want something portable, something that speaks to them. You can use earbuds with both of them. They have Bluetooth, and you can listen completely privately without others hearing. Now what they've made is a program called The Mix. So you can buy either a handheld or a wearable, and you can put in the features you want. So for example, I have a lot of older adults that like to use the wearable device, but they only really want it for reading. Many of them aren't going shopping on their own. They're not choosing colors or paying with cash. So they're happy just to have it for reading. But sometimes they want to add one feature or another, like only one of them, but not everything that my eye has. So they may choose to add on, and you can just do that via a Wi-Fi download. The other thing I haven't mentioned yet is that you can give these audio commands like you're talking to like an Alexa or some Siri. And that would be by double clicking on them and then giving a voice command. I'll do a real simple one. Let me wake it up. I'm going to double tap on the outside.
Bluetooth connected.
I'm going to double.
X gear connected.
I'm going to double tap on the outside of the wearable one, and I'm going to hear a long beep. Then I'm going to say a voice command. Tell time.
The time is 7:41 p.m.
Okay, I can do simple ones. Tell date.
The day is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020.
Tell battery status.
Battery is 52% charged, not charging.
So it's not charging, it's not plugged in. So those were a few examples of tell voice commands. I can ask it for help. There's a whole list of help commands. I can change settings by speaking to it. And that grouping is just made possible like by something that's out in the technology world called natural language processing, which has been around and which people use for all the other devices too. They just put it into here. Last thing I want to highlight about all the devices is a new feature in 2020 called Smart Reading. And what Smart Reading is the ability to use those voice commands to tell the device what information you want off of the page. So I would go into Smart Reading with a voice command, take a picture of my paper, and then say, find X. So maybe I want to find the word spaghetti on a menu. Or if I'm looking at my phone bill, I might say, find amount or find dates. Or if I'm a newspaper reader, I can say, read the headlines, and it'll read me all the headlines that it sees. And then I can say, read article number 2 after I hear the headlines. So this Smart Reading feature came out in 2020. The goal is to make using your OrCam, you can be a much more efficient reader and really zero in on the information you want. Now, again, if you take a picture of an entire page, you still have the ability to fast forward and to cruise through a paper. But if you really want to go quickly and zero in on things, you can use the Smart Reading feature. Last thing I want to say is, as I mentioned earlier, that OrCam is always adding things on and trying to make their devices really functional and helpful, is they have a new feature called orientation, which is going to help with knowing what's in your environment between 6 and 30 feet in front of you and around you. And that feature is, again, I would take a picture and then I would say, what's in front of me, and then it will tell me. Right now, it can only identify a limited amount of items like tables, chairs, doors, ascending chairs, screens like a computer screen, and round vessels like a mug or a bowl, and then people. That will be added onto with time. It's still in development. And then you can also say, after it tells you what's in front of you, lead me to the chair on the right. And then it will give a series of beeps to lead you to the chair on the right, or whatever you ask. So that's an example of something new that's coming down from OrCam. When they have new features like that, it's a Wi-Fi download. It's not, I go and I get an entire new physical device. I keep my device, it just gets downloaded. So that's it in a nutshell. There's a lot more in-depth, more advanced features, but just to give you the idea, you take a picture, 2 or 3 seconds later, you hear it read to you or announce what's in front of you.
Do we have any other questions for
Yeah,
Eve?
ready.
Go ahead. Oh, I thought somebody was trying to ask a question.
Matthew's hand
Oh,
is
Matthew. Matthew has a question.
Says, what is the cost of the portable OrCam?
of the portable OrCam. They're both portable. But right now, I'll give you the sale price because right now it's on sale through the end of December. These two devices are in the $3,000 range. The wearable devices are in the $3,000 range. It depends what model of the wearable one you get. The handheld OrCam Read is $1,700. That's the sale pricing right now in December, and after December they'll all go up by a few $100s.
They're fascinating devices.
Yeah, both of them are. I like the handheld one.
Yeah, and in terms of paying for them, I know it's a lot of money. I work with a group called National Disability Institute, which has a really wonderful program for buying any kind of adaptive equipment or assistive technology. It's not just for OrCams. And the way that works is they give you a loan for the amount that you would want to buy something, and then you have 36 months to pay that back. And so 3 years to pay it back. And then for New Jersey residents, they put on a 4% interest on top of what you buy.
If
So
someone wants to connect with you, Eve, how should I email them your information, or do they go to a specific place to contact you?
I think the best way is for them to call me and for
Okay.
us to have a conversation on the phone. So yes, please share my phone number and my email address with the group.
Okay.
And anybody who wants to spend time, I don't rush you off the phone. I will sit on the phone with you for as long as it takes to answer your questions. And if you're just curious and you want to ask some more information, I can tell you on the phone if that's what you prefer, or if you prefer email or texting. Ultimately, what happens is we do demos in person if somebody is interested, and the demos are free.
Well, we
No,
have
the
a
one-
question.
So, thank you.
Hold on, Matthew. You have a question? Your hand has been raised.
Oh, yes, Linda. How long is the battery life on the glasses?
What is it?
How long is it? It is with continuous nonstop use, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay,
But-
that's a long time.
Tom, you're missing your T.
What?
You're
Oh,
missing the T, your name.
Oh,
It says
Yes, I said, oh, I thought we had a new student. I was
Oh.
wondering if you were related to them.
And how long does it take to charge all the devices up, especially the glasses?
20 minutes, I don't know, half hour. It depends how depleted it is, but it's a tiny battery, so it doesn't take long to charge it. The one thing I'll quickly mention in both devices is that you can put them into suspend mode, which is low power. So if you're not going to use it for a short while, but you want to keep it on, you can conserve battery power that way. You can also use them while they're charging, like a cell phone.
Oh, very impressive devices.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions? All right, so I am going to, Eve, thank you so much for your time and for being with us tonight.
You're welcome.
And I'm just going to wrap it up in closing. OrCam, my eye, is the most advanced artificial intelligence wearing device for those who are blind and visually impaired. And Eve, thank you again for being with us this evening and sharing these incredible devices with us and with our Tech Talk audience. I have an important message for our Tech Talk audience, because tonight is the last one for the year, and then we're going to move on to 2021, and it will be a better year. And I want everyone just to know that they will need a new registration. There's going to be a new link for the upcoming year, and the link is already out, and you will have to re-register. Register with that new link. Okay? Any questions on that?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the past year.
It's been great. Yeah, it really has been great. I want to thank everyone for joining Tech Talks hosted by Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey. And please contact our organization at 973-627-0055 to learn more about other programs that we offer. And on behalf of the staff and Board of Trustees of Vision Loss Alliance, we wish you the best of the upcoming holiday season and a happy and healthy new year. Suzanne, you have a question before I go on? Unmute yourself.
The registration for next year, did you send it as a separate email, or is that part of that email that had all the registrations in it?
It is part of that email that had all the registrations. And then also the distribution list for Tech Talks will get that specific link.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So stay tuned for Tech Talks on Wednesday, January 27th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Don't forget to register with that new link. And happy holidays to everyone. And
Yeah,
stay
see
well.
you next year.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Eve.
Good night.
Happy holiday.
Night.
Good night.
Night. Wait, why is this? Oh. We got done early.